Hello everybody, welcome back to another video in my series, My Live Gig Setup. Today we are talking about wireless systems, more specifically, affordable wireless systems. Now, I've got an array of wireless systems available today, and I'm going to give you my opinion based on my experience with them. Are they worth buying and using live or in the studio? Most of these systems I got from Amazon. Some of the systems are actually available in South Africa. And the first system I started with is this NUX in-ear monitoring system. It comes in this very fancy charging case, and you can get up to 4 charges just using the case when the case is fully charged. Pressing this button will activate the charge. So you can charge between gigs or before gigs, on the way to a gig. Very cool. Both the transmitter and the receiver are tiny. They sit in this case. The transmitter can sit anywhere that has a headphone output, or with an adapter it can sit with an XLR. With me, it actually goes directly into the headphone output of the Helix. Transmitter is tiny, has a belt clip. You can't even feel this is on you. Now, I do love this system very much. It doesn't have a huge range, especially when there's other wireless systems around. The sound quality is superb. Unfortunately, this is my second set. The first one, this is the first one. The first one endured a button failure. It's going to be very difficult to see, but I will try to show you on the camera. That hole represents what used to be an on-off button. The button just caved in one day, and this pretty much renders this unit useless unless you can open up the unit and solder on another switch. I did get a refund for the unit, but not for the shipping, which was also very expensive. But the refund was identical to the price of the second unit I bought here in South Africa. When I bought the first one, there was no stock in South Africa, so I was forced to buy from Amazon. And then I used the refund money to buy the second unit here. So far, so good, but I am very careful pressing this button. The second unit I bought is also from NUX, and this is a guitar unit. Works exactly the same. Fancy case. Press the button. The unit is charging. Very, very good. Excellent sound quality. Range is also, I would say, depends on, again, on what other units are available in the same room. So I've done a lot of gigs where I've got very little or no interference. I've done gigs where I can barely step over my monitor and I'm already getting dropouts. I've done tests here at home where I basically go around the corner, literally behind where the camera is. Everything here is open plan. There's no walls that interfere. And literally 2 steps behind where the camera is, not right now, I get interference or dropouts. And then sometimes I don't. So it just depends. This works on a Bluetooth Wi-Fi 5.8 gigahertz, so are the in-ears. And you should expect the range to be a little bit limited. Another thing I bought from NUX is basically a wireless microphone setup, but this can also double as a wireless something else, like a speaker, for instance. So you can plug in to your mixer this side to your speaker, and then you eliminate the cable between your mixer and your speaker. It does work very well. This works on a 2.4 gigahertz, so you should expect a bit more interference issues with this, although I did not encounter a lot. Range should be a little longer than the 5.8, but you know, for the distances that I use this, I did not encounter too much interference. I sometimes use this with the microphone it comes with. It comes with a NUX microphone. Very good sounding microphone, actually. I use it for speeches if I do a birthday party or anything to that extent where they want to have a speech. However, I have 2 of these sets, and then I use them to eliminate the cables between my Helix and my speakers. Very simple. I got them color-coded for the 2 pairs. All you do is press and hold two buttons. It will light up, select the free channel, and when I pick up the other pair, exactly the same, it will pick up another channel that is clean, and then both will work. Both pairs will work. I also bought a similar unit from Lekato. This system works on the 5.8 gigahertz, less susceptible to interference, but the range is shorter. And to me, it feels like it introduces just a little bit more latency than the NUX system. Also from Lekato, I bought this 2.4 gigahertz guitar unit. This literally is the cheapest one I could find on Amazon. This was $39. And I actually got a refund on this because plugging this into anything, it just stops working after a given amount of time. It could be 5 minutes, could be 20 minutes. And the receiver, when I just touch it, it comes back to life. So I don't know if it's something loose inside. I'm happy with the sound, happy with the range, happy with the latency. So Amazon did refund me for this. Now, I'm not going to do any sound or distant tests on these units because it depends on the environment. I've seen similar videos on other channels on YouTube where sometimes you get the full range, and sometimes basically if you turn your back, like if this is plugged in by the speaker or whatever, and you have a microphone and you turn your back to the speaker, already you start getting dropouts. So it really does depend on your environment. Now, when it comes to these microphone systems, I did buy another one from Alto, which was an analog system, not a digital system. Worked on a UHF frequency, and I've returned this one to Amazon. It was absolutely shocking. It had a buzz and a hum through the system. It was actually shockingly bad. I will link everything below, including the Alto system that I've returned. Now, I did not stop at audio systems. I also bought NUX Wireless systems. This is one of them. This allows me to control my NUX lights wirelessly from an iPad app. A video coming on this soon. I also bought these wireless NUX transmitter and receivers to eliminate some of my NUX lighting. This will be included in the video about the NUX dongle. Now, are these units worth the trouble and the money? In short, it depends on your needs and the situation. For me, yes. Although they are not perfect, they have a limited range. Clearly, some of them have failed one way or another, but because I keep a backup of just about everything, for me, it is definitely worth it. I wanted to build a box for my Helix, where my Sennheiser guitar and inner units sits below the Helix. It will be a big, heavy, and clumsy box. And when I found these units and realized that they do a really great job most of the time, if not almost all of the time, they eliminated my need to build that heavy, clumsy box, which obviously will also be expensive. So much so that because I always keep a backup of everything, I actually sold off one of my Sennheiser G4 units. I had two, and I just kept the one that sits in my rack when I do a band gig. Also, I can use those Sennheiser units when the cheaper units cannot perform at optimal level. I mean, these two are actually plugged in by my Helix instead of a dual rack-mounted unit that needs power and space. And they exactly the same units are sitting on me, one on a guitar, one on my belt. Also, another thing to consider is if I fly anywhere in the world, there will be no limitation on what UHF channel my Sennheiser units are. These units work on 5.8 gigahertz or 2.4 gigahertz, and there's no limitation to use them anywhere on a planet. It is up to you to decide if something like this can work for you. You need to check on your surroundings and your circumstances. There's also a limit to amount of units that could be used on one stage. A friend of mine bought from Amazon also a Lekato Guitar Wireless in 5.8 that clashed with my Guitar Wireless in 5.8, the NUX one. I cannot change the channels. I can only switch on and off and let it choose a clean channel. With my friend's wireless, you can actually choose one of 4 channels, and my friend had to change his channel to number 4 instead of number 1 on that specific gig in order for me to have no interference on my guitar wireless. So for the vast majority of my one-man gigs, it's definitely worth it. I don't have to carry a whole rack with wireless systems. It's just a little bit prep on the day before or on the day of the gig to make sure all my wireless systems are charged. And besides the one in-ear unit that the button caved in and rendered the unit useless, most of my experience with all these units has been more or less positive. So I will definitely recommend you testing these units. I hope this video helped you with some information. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to subscribe, smash that like button, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.